What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions.
And our guests, greet them for me, all right?
Of course, sir, but why not do it yourself?
Because I know that I'm not going to have as much fun watching as playing.
And a very, very special and grand welcome to all the fellow decoders out there around the world, wherever you are. My name is Logan, and this is Decode Your Reality. And today we're going to be breaking down and decoding part 3 of this Prison Planet series. And as you noticed in the introduction of this presentation, we had a clip from episode number 9 of the amazing show on Netflix called Squid Game. So thank you, Squid Game. Thank you, Netflix. Big shout out to those two platforms. And why I was showing that, because during this presentation, I will be bringing in some Hollywood stuff because they have their say in explaining how this reality works. And of course, this show was no exception if you know what you're looking for, because this reality is a game. I'm going to be showing that. And the reason why I say it's a prison planet is because you ain't leaving until you end up dying. That's the only way to leave this game. And then we don't know what happens beyond that. But let's start to break this down and see, because folks, I have a gem-filled, jam-packed presentation. Put on a pair of headphones, get immersed. This one's going to be another long one. Those of you that make it till the end, congratulations. Because this information that I'm going to be showing you will be groundbreaking. It will be breathtaking for a lot of you. A lot of you will have jaws on the floor. And I don't say that to brag, or I'm not looking for trophies. I just know that, see, I was supposed to show you this information. And that's all I'm going to say. That's it. Take it for what it's worth. Whatever you get out of it, great. But I'm going to show you some information that you've never seen before. So let's get started. In the beginning of this, again, was the old man, player number 001, saying, because I know that I'm not going to have as much fun watching as playing. And that's because this game is all about playing, observing and playing, of course. The subtleties in this numerology outcome is 58 letters. If you've been paying attention, 58 is tied to the word puppet master, and 15 words in the tarot is tied to the devil card. The devil card. So let's start breaking this stuff down. Before we do that, let me just digress and tell all of you and explain to you the findings, just kind of summarizing all. We live inside of a video game. Video. I decoded that in Dios. Dio means God. Video. We live inside of the so below of the as above. We live inside of a soap opera. We live inside of a movie. It's all theater. It's not real. And we're being used. We're being controlled remotely. And that's why if you've played a game console, you have these buttons, you have these directional points, and you're in control of that. Why do people think that it just stops right there? Like, oh, we're the creators and that's it. No, you see, folks, there's something running us. And I'm about to show you that during this presentation. So let's get into the topics, and then I'm going to get right back into that Squid Game at the end, the old man talking about there's more fun playing than watching. But in the zero position with these topics, it's the intro, which is what I'm doing now, what you saw in the beginning with the Squid Game. Number one, we're going to be talking about playing or watching. The first topic. We're going to break down Squid Game a lot, what the meaning of that was. Number two, we're going to get into some Free Guy, the 2021 movie called Free Guy. And number three, we're going to talk about every dog has its day. What does that mean? Number four, we're going to get into some theology. And all souls are mine. We're going to be talking about some Ezekiel. And then number five, we're going to be talking about one of the emotions we have, love. The almighty winning love hand. And then number six, the opposite, the antagonist, which would be fear. That makes up our two emotions, love and fear. And then I always love to hear what you have to say, what you've observed in the number seventh position. What did you see? And again, folks, these are my opinions and truths. You don't have to agree with them. You got to make the truth your own. That's all that matters. So here we go. Put on a pair of headphones, get immersed in this presentation, block out the outside world, get comfortable. This is going to be a long one. I can tell you that right now. I don't know how long, but it's going to be a long one. So as the old man was saying in the show, there's more fun playing than watching. So I decided to break those two words down, and lo and behold, this was a huge gem of a find for me. And bringing the tarot into it was also even more of a deeper meaning. The words watch and play is a 19 and a 13 for a total of 32. Of course, 32 is the degrees at which water turns from a liquid into a solid. And that means that is the Fool coming down here. That's all of us. And it's a direct match to this word right here, or two words called Game Master. It's not only just a match to the outcome of the 32, but it's a direct match of the 13 and the 19. So the master, it can watch, but if it wants to come play, it becomes part of the game. That's what this is telling us. And then the two tarot cards, obviously the master's the sun. And then when it wants to come down here and play, it has to die, because every one of us faces that death aspect. You can't avoid that. It's part of the game. It's the sun and death, the game master. That's what the tarot has to say about it. So let's keep going. So going back to this guy right here, his birthday was really interesting because he was born on the 19th. Think about this. If you go look this guy up, he was born on October 19th. What's the 19th card? Right there. It's the freaking sun card, telling you subtleties that this dude, I mean, if you know what goes into casting of a movie, I do. I was in LA. I lived in LA. I've been on sets. I've been with people that do castings and all that, folks. It's nobody would get anything done having to sit there and try to code to mock you or try to pull the wool over your eyes. That's stupidity. It's nonsense. These people that are writing these movies, sure, you can become conscious of it, but the actors they cast and all that, these people are being used. It's part of the code, the overall code and script in this reality. Look at what it has as an outcome in the English. The 223 in the Chaldean, I'm going to be getting into that, but there it is, folks. That's right there in plain sight, 666. And of course, what does that mean? It means you're playing the game. The beast is the game. When you incarnate, you become the 666. You become carbon. Carbon is 6 protons. You know how this works. The 666 is carbon. That is us. We incarnate into the game. We become man or woman. That's what he's saying here. So think about, did the guy that wrote the script, is he sitting down with his calculator, his computer, and coding it to screw you over or try to pull the woolly over your eyes so they can get the 666 outcome? You know how ludicrous this is for me to even say that? So I decided to start plugging in some of these words to see what the outcome would be. A lot of you are doing this. You got to be careful with this because a lot of the outcomes can, of course, match to the same kind of stuff. So I decided to plug in, there's more fun playing than watching. This is the architect. Whatever runs our reality outside of this reality, it's watching us. Of course, it wants to come down here and play it. If you made this reality, wouldn't you come down here and play? Of course you would. So it's a 126. And I'm going to bring in alchemy into this because we are made up of these elements, the elements. That's why Jesus says, ye are gods, because the elements are the gods. We're made up of these elements. And there it is. There was the big clue for me. I was laughing when I found this. 126 with iodine, a match to there's more fun playing than watching. It becomes the I am. We become the I am. We become the universe. We become the architect, or it becomes us. So we can bring theology into this as well because we can't leave it out, obviously. And again, I'm not sitting here trying to figure out if this guy, Jesus or Yeshua or whatever, was real because there's no way to prove it, okay? The idea makes it real. That's all that I know. But we can just break it down with the numbers and we can see how funny this is. Here's the original spelling in the Hebrew. I don't think Jesus came on the scene until the Greeks because if you study the scriptures, you know the scriptures, he came on the scene in the New Testament, not the Old. But anyway, that's my opinion. There's the broken down numerology of Yeshua. It's a 53, matching the protons of the I. It's the I am. It's the Christ coming down here and becoming man, just like us. Well, he's got a counterpart to it, and that's his Lucifer character, which may end up being one and the same, or it's good cop, bad cop. We know Jesus in the stories had a twin brother named Thomas, the doubting Thomas. It's Jesus and Thomas. That's how I feel is all about this reality. It's the two twins, the two fish, and Pisces. So it's Lucifer. So I decided to start breaking the dates down. So I looked naturally at the 126. This is a big time number if you've been paying attention. This is not just a one-hit wonder here. This is not like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. I've been observing this iodine and I've shown it, and a lot of you have been showing it over and over and over and over. So 126 on the Gregorian calendar is a match to May 6th, which is 56, and I'll be getting into that. May 6th card in the cards of illumination is the King Diamonds card. How I found that real quick. Here's the boilerplate chart for the cards of illumination. The months going horizontally across the top, vertically in the left-hand side of the days. Your birthday is going to be in here, but there it is, May 6th. It's the King Diamonds card. 126th day of the year is the King Diamonds. You ever heard that expression, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, or heard that song by the Beatles? Lucy, Lucifer, Lucy in the sky with diamonds. There it is. There's the clue. It's the 39th card in the deck, and it matches this element called yttrium. There's that letter Y. It has an atomic weight of 88 miles an hour. Time travel, 88 is tied to the two Taurus fields, or the Taurus field with the latitude, longitude, making up the four-leaf clover. Infinity is past, present, and future. And lo and behold, when you do the original spelling of Lucifer, Lucifer is the Latinized version of it. So it could match Jesus being 74 and Lucifer being 74, but nonetheless, there it is in the original Aramaic spelling. It's the number 39. It'll be 75, 39, and 12, but there's the 39, matching that of yttrium. So of course we now can see that Lucifer and Jesus either are one and the same, or they are the two twins, the two fish, making up the I Am, coming down here and playing the game. Not just observing it, but playing it. So I decided to bring in the Am. So I broke down the I, the 126th day of the year. What about the Am, the I Am, and the 243, the weight of the element Americium? There it is, 243rd day on the Gregorian calendar is August 31st, which is the 8 hearts card number 8. And then, of course, I'm going to bring in the alchemical elements to see exactly what they're going to say. On this one, like I did with the 39, it's the element oxygen. Of course, oxygen has got an atomic weight of 15. That oxidizes things. That's tied to the devil card. But it's the air that we breathe. Part of it, nitrogen and oxygen. When you take nitrogen and oxygen and you alchemically put them together, or do the alchemization of them, you're going to get the number 47. 39 protons on yttrium, 8 protons on oxygen. You're going to get the number 47. That's titanium. And now we have a big time clue in all of this of what it means to come down here and play the game. We have Titan, the Titans. And we can go right to the periodic table and we can look at that. Here it is. Here's titanium. I'm going to be getting into this quite a bit in a little bit more of the presentation, but the reason why it's called titanium is because it's derived from the Titans, the sons of the earth. Folks, we are all the fallen angels, okay? We are the I Am. We are the Titans. That's exactly what this is telling all of us. It's right there. You can't miss it. I'm going to support this more, but if you're not a believer now, that's totally fine. Let's keep going. When you bring the tarot into this, this is part of the Am. I am that I am. The 8 hearts is the Am on the calendar. The 8 hearts is from goes to the tarot. These came first, the cards of illumination. The tarot came second, but the tarot has the pictures on it telling us what it wants to tell us, and it's the card of going on a spirit quest. Think about what I'm showing you. If you've never seen the tarot cards before, or if this is new, or maybe you're not a huge participant in them, or you don't really know them, all I can tell you is these have keywords attached to them, and this 8 hearts card that came first, the tarot card, the 8 of cups, this card means going on a spiritual quest. Think about what I'm showing you here. There's more fun playing than watching. Spirit quest, leaving behind your spirit, coming down into physical matter. That's what this 8 of heart means, becoming the I Am, becoming man or woman. That's what this is telling all of us, playing the game of life. If you take May 6th and August 31st, the 2 days on the calendar that make up the I Am through iodine and americium, the weights of iodine, 126 and 243, and you say May 6th and August 31st through numerology, you're going to get the number 82. And what is 82? If you've been paying attention, I've shown this in countless decodes now, especially in the Prison Planet series. It's the freaking element lead. I showed this in Dios. This is the element that the uranium ends up becoming through the decay process. Lead. This is what we all end up becoming as man or woman. It's lead. And that's why alchemy, the true essence of alchemy, is not really turning base metals into gold. It's the aspect of turning human beings into gold through energetic currency. It's lead, we become lead, and we go back to gold, which is the sun, which is why Lucifer and the Christ are the sun. And of course the moon too, because we can't leave that out. But how about that right there? 80 frickin' 2 tied to the element lead. And boy, I'm going to be showing this a little bit later on during this presentation. So let's get back to what started it all in the beginning of this presentation was the excerpt from episode number 9 at the very end, telling you what was going on. This guy was the owner of the game, but then he wanted to play it because he said it's more fun, and it's the 223. So what about that 223? Well, you know I'm going to bring it right into the periodic table, and there are many elements that will have that 220. If you start to study these elements, it starts to get really, really complicated, and you'll notice that there are many elements that share the same atomic weights or atomic masses measured in a laboratory. So you can't just stop there. You got to go deeper and deeper and deeper. But what I can tell you is uranium is what I've been focusing on and seeing is that it is the last known natural element on the periodic table. According to the Royal Society of Chemistry, which is what I go by, they say uranium is the last natural element on the periodic table. After that, when you get into neptunium and plutonium, those are all byproducts or synthetically made or made after the fact from uranium. And of course, why wouldn't it be? It's the you. It's you and me. It's the lucky horseshoe. And I'm going to be getting into that. Of course, 92 is the 11, which reduces down to the number 2, which is tied to duality. But these three elements have the 223, and this is the decay process of uranium. When you leave uranium out, it will decay. There are more elements that it decays into, the natural process anyway. But these are the two elements that it decays into, radium and radon. And what do you see there? What all three of these elements have in common? It's the Ra, the uranium, it's the radium, it's the radon. It's all tied to the sun god Ra. And this clearly tells, if you have the eyes to see, this tells you it is the sun coming down here and becoming part of its own game, playing out its own game. It's the sun god Ra. And uranium just may go beyond that. But these elements are really important, and they all have that 223. And I mean, if you really start to look at this, you can start to see the clues that are right there in front of us. It's just you got to dig a little bit, and they've always been there. So let's break that down, that 223. And this one really I had decoded this on a separate decode. I just can't remember which decode it was. Some of you may have seen it or watched it. You'll remember. Breaking down the 48 and the wild boar. And I'm going to get into that in a second because this is another piece that is new as I introduce this slide for all of you. The 223 through numberempire.com is a very special number because it's the 48th frickin' prime number. Prime numbers are standalone numbers. They're really important in mathematics. 48, of course, is tied to this element right here, going right back to the Titans, the titanium. So this is telling all of us that it's the sun coming down, what it appears to be the sun or uranium, the you. It's the you. It's you and me. It's the you coming down here and playing out its own game, tied to this fallen angel story. It's the Titans. It's the moon of Saturn. It's titanium. Titanium equals 26, which is tied to the Yod He Vahe, tied to Adam and Eve. All those words equal 26. 26 is iron, which is our blood. But here is another layer to give us more in-depth look at what this whole code is showing us. This is the medicine cards. There are 52 of those. Let me go. Here is the natural sped of the medicine cards. They use insects, animals, and reptiles, and then some to do their expressions. There are 52 of them, matching the 52 weeks of the year. And there is the 48th card. It's the wild boar card. And there it is, the wild boar, 48. And of course, when you really start to study the wild boar, tied to the fallen ones, we are all the fallen ones, all of us. you get into this wild boar. And here is an excerpt from the actual medicine card. Because if you get these cards, some of you have gotten the book that goes with it. Here's right from the book, right from the pages of the book. And you can read this on your own and you can start to see the script that has been playing out through our reality, through all of us, through this wild boar, through what they're telling you. It's not gonna roll the red carpet out and just tell you, yeah, we're the fallen angels. It's not gonna tell you that. You got to really use your eyes and you got to really meditate on this information. Some of you will have to do that, but make no mistake about it. We become these, wild boars as we incarnate and become man. And you become fearful because you're going from one state to the next. And we become the Titans. There it is. Titanium, Titan, Saturn's moon. Saturn's moon. Saturn has a big say in this of playing the game because Saturn's the sixth planet. The sixth chakra is the third eye. But all of this can sync up. You can see it syncing up. The 22, the 48, the wild boar. So let's go a little bit further. So what about the 48th card in the Cards of Illumination? This was so telling to me personally. The 48th card in the deck is the 9 Spades card. Not many clues there, but when you bring it into the tarot, this is exactly what the expressions were trying to tell you just through photo pictures and the numbers. Here it is, the 9 Swords. This card is all about worry and fear, and I showed in many other slides, not just this presentation, there is the big clue. In my decode of the Game of Life, in my decode of, I think it was Dios, I came out with this. It's the number 59, which is the 14, which is the 5. 5 is man. 5 is woman. The identity. The 5th house in astrology is Leo the lion, and that's ruled by the sun. We are children from the sun. We are the wild boar when we get down here because you get fearful. And it's all worry, doubt, stress, fear, anxiety. It's exactly what this is all telling us. And there's the numerology of the wild boar, the 26. That's why I have the blood splatter right here. Because what do we have in our blood? We have iron in our blood. That's what gives it its red color. 55 is its weight, tied to the word predestination. It's exactly what this reality is all about, predestination. Folks, your life's scripted, like my life is scripted. Enjoy the ride. Stop doing the blame game. Figure out why you're here. Rather than trying to just slander and get mad at everything and everybody else. There it is, the wild boar, 26. The big clue for this, besides it being tied to iron in our blood, knowing we're the Titans, we're all the fallen angels, all of us. It's the 14 and the 12. And the big clue was this scripture right here, the only one that mentions Lucifer. Isaiah 14 verses 12. This clearly tells you it's the sun coming down here and becoming the Titans. The Olympians throwing the Titans to Tartarus, which is Earth. It's all of us. And we become the wild boars because we get afraid and we get angry. It's natural for us to feel that way when you get thrown down here in this reality. You get worry and doubt and fear in this game of life, anxiety, waking up like this. A lot of you have this all the time. What am I going to do? How am I going to figure this out? This life, as beautiful as it is, can be cruel, can be hard, challenging, deceptive, as we like to call it. But we're all the wild boar. We're all the Titans. We've got to figure it out. And that's because we live inside of a movie. This reality, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, again, these are my truths. We live inside of a movie. Truman Show, I decoded that. Many, many, many of you have watched it. I showed that is completely scripted. This reality is completely scripted. Your reality is completely scripted. To what degree, I don't know. I'm not saying your entire life, 100%, is scripted and you have no control over that. That's not what I will say. But this is a movie that we live in. There's a reason why the top 5 shows, longest running, are soap operas. This is a soap opera. William Shakespeare said that it's theater. We live inside theater because this is all a stage. We are all actors and actresses playing out our parts. Playing out our parts. And this is what it comes down to. Superhero and villain, the antagonist, the protagonist. There's a reason why these two end up becoming 79, because it's gold. It's lead to gold. You can work for Darth Vader, you can work for Yoda. You can be a villain, you can be a superhero. You can be whatever you want to be. But make no mistake about it, it doesn't matter what character you play out. You can be the good guy, the bad guy. You're going to be recycled. You're going to get taken back. You're going to be used for your energetic frequency. We are going to go back to the sun, which is gold. That's what runs this reality. Just like a movie, just like a movie projector, what causes the light? It's the projector right here. Without this, you ain't got no movie to cast it onto the screen. What's running the projector behind that? That's the big question. This would be the sun right there, casting the light, projecting everything onto the world stage, and all of us, all the characters on this. And as soon as you incarnate, you're in a prison. You can't leave until you die. And we're being mined for our energetic gold to keep this game alive. We live inside of a battery. That is definitely the truth, my truth anyway. So let's get into this movie that came out in 2021 called Free Guy, the blue shirt guy decoded and Free Guy decoded. Thinking about doing a full decode on this. I didn't even have to because it's just so blatant. And it was really beautiful, the whole story. And a big shout out to my newfound soul brother, Michael Ray. What a beautiful soul he is. Maybe someday some of you will get to meet him. But I got to watch this with him. And this just confirmed so many things. This confirmed it all for me. I knew it. Especially right here, him holding the goldfish. Pink Floyd were 2 lost souls swimming in a fish bowl. It's the Pisces, the 2 fish. It's the Jesus and Lucifer, Jesus and Thomas. Good cop, bad cop, antagonist, protagonist. But this guy, the blue shirt guy right here, 41. 41's not just any number. It's the frickin' 13th prime number. 13's tied to the sun. It's the patterns of the sun. I showed this in my Superstar Decoded 13. That's why the Last Supper, you have the 12 apostles and Jesus is the 13. 13's the magic number. 13's the number of creation through magic. And the word game is 13. How about that? There it is, right there. Blue shirt guy in game using the same cipher now, which I encourage all you decoders that are new, forget about all the other ciphers. Just use Chaldean and you'll find the truth. So you didn't got to deviate away from anything. Go study Chaldean. It's the top dog cipher if you're a decoder, period. End of story. So I decided to break down Ryan Reynolds, doing not just his breakdown. He's a 63, which of course is going to be tied to many different layers. Europium, it's going to be tied to copper, which is kind of, the precursor to uranium. The number 29. But I decided to break his name down through alchemology. And this is, if you're new to this is taking numerology and bringing it into alchemy and using them together. And I have found great truths with this. This is not just one time. I've shown this in countless Groundhog Day and a lot of Lucifer decodes, a lot of decodes, how important this is. And you should be doing this with your name. But here it is, Ryan Rodney Reynolds. Of course, he's got the triple R there. R is the 18th letter. 18 is love, tied to water, the Christ, all that stuff. But there it is, Ryan Rodney Reynolds, and the alchemical elements tied to the numbers. And we go over to the trusty calculator, add that up, and this is what we get, 131.148. And of course, some of you are like, what the hell does that mean? Well, when you bring it into, more layers, then we have our clues. This album right here, if you're a fan of music, Pink Floyd, off the album Dark Side of the Moon, one of the greatest selling albums of all time, came out in 1973. The second song on the album is called Brain Damage. And the lyric in this song was right there. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. I've shown this in many other decodes, not just this one. But there's the breakdown of it in numerology. Again, the same cipher Chaldean, not deviating away. It's the 131. The subtleties, 32 letters. 32 going right back to Game Master. Watch and play, 32. Game Master. Your mind is not your own. The little voice in your head talking right now, that owns you. It's not the other way around. Start listening to what it's got to say. And the clue is when you bring alchemy into this. There it is, Xenon. The X marks the spot. 131, element 54. If you watch my decode on They Live, what was broadcasting the hypnotic trance to keep you asleep? It was New Station 54. It's called Stranger, the stranger in my head. If you go study Xenon, this is what it means. Going right to the periodic table, going to this number 54, here it is. It's right there, coming from the Greek word xenos. It means stranger. Yeah, it's the stranger in your head. That's what it means. The little voice in your head. And this guy right here, Ryan Reynolds, is got a match to that, 131 for his alchemology. Are you kidding me? This guy was all about being used in the game. All about being used in the game. But there was the catch. And that was when he, put on the sunglasses. And I'm going to be showing that in a minute. But this is exactly what his title was in the game. He was a bank teller. The bank. What is a bank? It's not what you think it is. It's not just something that holds money. That's for sure. But there's the clue. Bank teller 32. Another 32. And I've shown this before, but the conversion of Fahrenheit to Celsius is very, very telling, because remember, water at 33 degrees is liquid, but when it hits 32, it changes its state, and it's telling you this is duality right here. I showed this in my Groundhog Day a lot. It was on the train. It was in the background of the movie, all over the place, tied to sulfur, tied to Lucifer. But 32 is 0, and there's what we become when we come down here and become man or woman. We become fools. It's the 0 card. Right there, you can't miss it. And, lo and behold, 131, not just any number, it's the frickin' 32nd prime number right there, tied to his name through alchemology, 131. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. That's right, because you're not running the show. You're not running the show. This was the ending scene, that very ending scene of the movie, telling you that it's going to turn into a paradise. And he had said, what are we going to do? I don't know. We can do whatever we want because there's no limitations at this stage of the game. The game's about to change. When will that happen? I don't know. I can't tell you that, but it's going to change, and I'm excited about it. I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but the clue is right there. You can see the freaking hexagons, the six-sided polygon. This is telling you, these people are telling you, Saturn's running the show because Saturn's the sixth planet. This is a six-sided polygonal shape. They say the hexagon's on the top of Saturn. I don't know, but that's what they're telling you. Clearly, you can see they're all over the place. And of course, what is the hexagon? In nature, it's the honeycomb. And what is the honeycomb run by? The bees. We are bees. And what do we work for? The queen bee. Who's the queen bee down here in Wonderland? That's the big question. So as I was saying that, he's this bank teller. He's this bank teller, and there was one big takeaway during this movie. And this is what I found. I don't know anybody has seen this. I don't know anybody caught this, but I caught it. He was wearing sunglasses. That's how he saw. He put the sunglasses on, and then he was able to see everything. And in 1988, John Carpenter came out with a movie called They Live, starring Roddy Piper. And what did he have to put on to see? Sunglasses. Did any of you catch this? I did. Right away, I knew it because I decoded They Live. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Sunglasses is the number 35. So I decided to break that down. Of course, lo and behold, it's tied to myself personally, which is why I feel like I was meant to show all of you this, part of my code, showing you my code. I was designed to show you this. This is my birthday. I was born on the 35th day of the year. February 4th is my birthday. And think about what I'm showing you here. Think about what I am showing you here. Sunglasses was given to this guy, or at least he took them to see. He had the eyes to see. And then Roddy Piper, he had the eyes to see when he put the glasses on. And you see, February 4th, my birthday, is this card right here, the 8 Spades card. And the 8 Spades card going into the tarot is this one, which I showed in my Prison Planet too. It's the Trapped and Limited card. Think about what I'm showing you here. Before these guys put the sunglasses on, they were this. Trapped and limited. They didn't have the eyes to see. Put the sunglasses on, and it was a game changer. So what are the odds that it's 35 tied to my birthday and showing the Trapped and Limited card? What do you think the odds would be? And do you think that all these people that are writing these movies are trying to mock you and screw you over, pull the wool over your eyes? Do you think it's just a big conspiracy and you're not in on it? Folks, the depth of this code is ridiculous. It's endless. Man could never code this in a million years. You would never get anything done. Never. Think about what I'm showing you here. So let's get into the next topic. Every dog has its day. You ever heard this before? Every dog has its day. You know how I found this? Because I decided to throw on, in the background, the show Westworld. And I'm going to get into that. And it was part of the show on HBO. Him saying, every dog has its day. And of course, I decoded it, and there it was. Of course, the code's showing itself to me because I'm in tune with it. Very grateful. But I know we're in a movie, right at the very top. Lights, camera, action. 56. I showed you we'd be showing that 56. Remember what the 56 was tied to? May 6th. 126th day of the year. And of course, it's tied to this right here. Every dog has its day. And you know, when I'm looking for the photos, this is the first one I grabbed because I'm like, I got to show a movie screen. And look what was in the background, the freaking hexagon. I just threw this up and then I'm like, oh geez, there it is. Me being used. Of course, there's the 55 predestination. It just kept going. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. It gets so ridiculous when you're a decoder and you're at this depth. That's why I laugh. And I think this is all a big joke. Just have fun with it. And what is this saying? Because every God. That's why Jesus said, ye are gods. Yeah, you're a God, folks. When are you going to start acting like it? Stop giving your power away to these people that are trying to take it from you. We're in a movie. Stop being an extra. Be a main star in your own movie. And you know, really, this is what it's all about. Prison Planet, no matter what. You got to have fun with this though, right? So it's a contradiction. Yeah, it can be a prison for sure. Once you know you're in it, you ain't getting out until you die. But you're being harvested for your energy. It's all about energy. That's why you got the harvest coming up. There's Harvest Records. So many layers to this. It's all about energy harvesting. When you end up dying, when you turn on any kind of mainstream news, guess what's getting your energy? Guess what's harvesting your energy? Stop watching that static. Unless you feel like you owe it to them to give your energy to these things. But you can't help it. It's a contradiction. Because you'll watch movies and guess what gets the energy? The movie does. So it really is a big Ponzi scheme. That's what it's all about. But this is where I got every dog has its day right here. I got this from watching this show called Westworld. Now, this right here is the photograph taken from the show right here that was made in 1973. That's where HBO got their series. There it is, HBO series 2016. It's from this movie right here that came out in 1973, Westworld. And it's about people coming down and visiting an interactive amusement park containing androids, and they start to malfunction. But you can come down and be anything you want in this amusement park. These are the two main guys in the show, and they come down here and they go against this dude that starts to malfunction. But you can have any kind of fantasy you want to have come true with this movie, Westworld. All based on computers. That's why I said they got the tagline, boy, have we got a vacation for you. You can do whatever you want, be whatever you want. It's not real. You can go kill people. It ain't real. But you can go live it out. Westworld. Amazing the amount of decoding this gave me. I'm about to show it to you all right now. Here's the basic format of it. Westworld is a 40. Big time number tied to death and regeneration, because you go right to the periodic table and this element zirconium. What does zirconium mean? Well, when you go to the elements on the periodic table and you look that thing up, here it is. Those of you that have been following along, it does mean gold colored, of course, because it's death and regeneration tied back to the sun. But it's this little icon the Royal Society of Chemistry decided to put up there. And what is the meaning of it? Well, it's about tied to the Scarab beetle right there. It was a symbol of regeneration and creation, renewal and resurrection. Think about what I'm showing you. Renewal and resurrection. This game needs players. This game is not real to whatever's running it beyond the scope of the physical kind called mankind. Zirconium has an average weight of 91. The word battery in numerology equals 91. Westworld. And then going to the string of pi, the number 40 occupies 2 digits, digit number 70 and digit number 71. Get out your calculator. 70 and 71 is 141, which is pi, which is why I have it there. This is what we go down into. Pi is 3.14. That's the 3D reality that we all play out. And it's run by the Puppet Master. So there it is. There's the 141. Cerium is the god of agriculture, tied to the harvest, tied to Saturn. Saturn has such a big say in all of this because it's the third eye chakra. But there's the Puppet Master. When you come down here, you become the Puppet Master. If you're up here, whatever runs this reality uses all of us to play out its game. Now, I don't know at what level, but I do know that is what I have come to with my research. So you just got to have fun with this. So what about the number 58? Since we know that's tied to Puppet Master, since we know it's tied to Westworld, right there in the string of pi, we find the 58 occupies 2 digits, digit number 10 and digit number 11. Of course, 10's tied to the Yod, which is tied to Saturn. 10 is the number of the binary. 58 is occupying digits 10 and 11. 10 plus 11 is 20 freaking 1. What's 21? It's the freaking world card going down into the hole. This is telling all of us. Down into the hole, becoming man or woman. Here are the 4 faces, Ezekiel 1 verses 10. This is astrotheology now. And then this movie came out on November 21st. November 21st. 73 is the 21st prime number. All tied to that. Saturn equals 21. This reality is not real, folks. It's not real. Real to us, but it's so scripted, it's ridiculous, and it's funny, and whatever runs this reality is a damn stand-up comedian. Here's the guy right here who goes out of control in the movie right here. Here he is. Mr. Briner, one of the main actors, coming after to kill these 2 guys that are on vacation. And, here's his birth card. He was born on July 11th. It's the 4 diamonds card. Card number 30, of course, Demiurge, Jehovah. They all equal the number 30. And when we bring it into the string of the golden ratio now, those of you that are decoders, I'm hoping you're starting to bring this in because this has a lot of merit as well. But look at where the number 30 appears in the golden ratio. It's the 40th digit. 40 and 41, which is 81, which is tied to pi anyway, because pi is 8 and 1. But there it is, the 40. So this guy's got a birth card of the 4 diamonds, which is the Jack in the Box card. It's the 30th card, and he stars in the movie Westworld, the main star of the movie, and it's the 40 right there. So do you think that the people that are writing this stuff, the screenplay writers and the one that cast it, you think they're sitting down with all these layers before they write the movie? That's ridiculous to think that. Folks, mankind is in a theater. We're in a movie, and we didn't write the script. We're just following the script. The script is telling you through acting out our parts that we're being used. I showed it in this decode of Jack in the Box. I haven't had a lot of people watch this one, but I may or may not like Jack in the Box, the fast food restaurant. But this one was so much fun because of how ridiculous this reality is. Jack in the Box. We're all Jack, and if you're female, you're going to be Jill. Jack in the Box. The founder founded this establishment on February 21st. There's that 21 again. What's the February 21st card? The frickin' 4 diamonds card. 30th card in the deck. And of course, I brought in the medicine cards. What's the 30th card? It's the damn rabbit card. Following the rabbit into time. Alice is 30. Following the rabbit into time. Shrinking down. Becoming man or woman. So we're all Jack or Jill stuck in the box, the cube, the tetragrammaton. And that's what this was saying right here. It's telling you. And there's the sun right there at the bottom. Can't miss it. It's all tied to the sun. The golden ratio pi, all of it's tied to the sun. We're all Jack or Jill stuck in the box, following the rabbit into time. We all shrunk down here. Just like it told us through Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Here's the guy who wrote the screenplay for Westworld. John Michael Crichton, famous author, had his degree as a medical doctor, decided to pursue writing, wrote a lot of pretty heavy hitter books. But here's his birth card right here. It's the Queen Hearts card, October 23rd. 12th card in the deck. Tied to the Hangman. The very fitting story was going into the tarot, the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is the 49th card in the deck, and that's tied to down in a hole. It's telling you, it's the architect or architects coming down here into this reality and controlling man or woman. And if you want to get a kicker for all this to make you laugh even more, how about Ryan Reynolds and his birthday? Well, he's got the same birthday, same one as John Michael Crichton, October 23rd. This is the hilarious stand-up comedian the architect is. This guy writing Westworld, this guy being in Free Guy, and him being down in a hole. Alice in Chains sang that song. I did a decode on Down in a Hole. Please check that one out. This is how comical this reality is. And, here's the Queen running Wonderland. This is ridiculous, this code. It's so funny. This having the same birthday as this guy who wrote Westworld. Same story, just told in a different way. And you get into the Truman Show and all these shows telling you the same freaking story, folks. We're living in a movie. So here's the tagline for Westworld. Boy, have we got a vacation for you. And here it is. This was funny because it was 112. And I'm going to compare that against pi and golden ratio. But of course, I'm going to go right into alchemy. And this Coperniceum element right here was so very telling because these are bridges. You know, they tell their story. They're just, a lot of them are bridges. As you know, 113 is our blood types, but there it is. Have we got a vacation for you? And it's 112 Coperniceum, and it's the 285. And the numerology of Coperniceum was a direct match of the number 45 and Pandora's box. Because if you go study the Greek mythology on Pandora's box, it's so funny to tell you that it's a shit storm once you come down here. All the pain and suffering and everything that comes into becoming man. It's a stressor. Like, where was my... It's right here. This is the game of life right here. Pandora's box. Knowing you're coming down here, it's like, oh, geez. It's going to be a lot of pain and suffering. And that's why you become this wild boar. It's just funny. So Pandora's box, tying it to this element that has the 112, and boy, have we got a vacation for you. That was the tagline for this movie. And if you think, man, this guy, Michael Crichton, was sitting down and telling the people that made this, that produced it, hey, we got to match it up to this 112 because it's tied to Pandora's box, you got to be absolutely, you're eating the wrong kind of Fruit Loops. I'm telling you right now, if you think that's the case. Mankind is being used, and that's it. Just have fun with this. Just have fun with this. So let's get into the next topic. We're going to get some theology into this. Hollywood and the Bible are no different. Two peas in the same pod, just telling you a different story. It's all the same crap. Nothing new under the sun, as they say. So just pick one that you like. Doesn't matter which one, because they're all going to tell their own little story. All owned by the same source, eventually. So here we go. All souls are mine. And this is the scripture telling you that. There's also other scriptures that tell you that your voice is not your own. In the Psalms, your voice is controlled. But that's for a different decode. But here it is, Ezekiel 18 verses 4. Behold, it's longer than this, but this is the beginning of it. Behold, all souls are mine. And of course, I was laughing because this is just comical to me. Here it is. It's the 52. And it's a direct match to Prison Planet. How about that? What are the odds, folks? That's right, because when you come down and become man or woman, you're in a prison. You ain't getting out until you leave. And I don't even know if you're ever going to get out. That's all. That's an opinion. There's no way to prove that. But of course, the proof's in the pudding here. You're showing all these layers connected. Here's the 52nd element, tellurium. This is where it comes from. The Latin word tellus, it means earth. That's why the Royal Society of Chemistry chose this photograph for the representation of tellurium. Prison planet. 5 + 2 is 7. Prison planet right there. So I decided to break it down even more. I had to do a little modifications on this because, of course, it's going to reduce it down to the number 9. But if you keep the numbers in their most authentic formats, which I like to do a lot, I think they're very, very telling. The 18 stays 18 because this is chapter 18 verses 4. So it'd be 28, 18, and 4. You add that up, you're going to get the number 50. And I thought it was just very fitting because right there on the back of a dollar bill is in God we trust. So those of you that just like, oh, money is corrupt and money, folks, there's no separation. We're in the dark age. So it's going to get crazy. It's going to get haywire. You're not going to like a lot of the things that are going on. But it doesn't matter because whatever's running money is running this reality. It runs mankind. It runs governments, states. It runs a cult. It runs secret societies. It runs them all. There's no separation. There's no like exceptions in this. There's like, oh, we have an asterisk next to our organization. We're not going to be controlled. No, everything's controlled. And it ain't by man. It's right there. Jupiter has a big say in this as well. How about getting into some more deeper math? Just to solidify this, just if you weren't a believer then, maybe you were not going to be a believer. Maybe this channel's not for you. But the more layers I add with pure math, it becomes, in my book, it becomes undeniable. Here we go. What about the string of pi, the number 50? Found from In God We Trust, found from All Souls Are Mine. It appears at the 31st decimal digit, 31 and 32, which is going to give you 63. Which I showed earlier what the 63 is. Going right back to here, numberempire.com. True math again now. The 127 is the 31st prime number, and we go right back to that 52nd element where we started, which means Earth, Tellurium. All souls are mine. It's undeniable. 31's pi, 3.1. You can't miss it, folks. You can't miss this stuff. So what about the chapter and verse? 18 and 4, which, get out your calculators. Pretty simple math. It's going to give you this. 22. All souls are mine. 22. What is that 22 linked to? Well, we go right back to Saturn's moon, Titan, and the Titans and titanium. And all of us being the fallen angels. You are a fallen angel. I'm a fallen angel. We're all fallen angels when you come down here because you're part of the movie. You're just a little actor or actress playing out your part. Start being the star in your own movie instead of being an extra. Stop blaming other people. Just take control of your life. Be the star in your own movie. Have fun with this reality. That's what Free Guy was trying to tell you anyway. That's what Truman Show was trying to tell you. There it is, titanium. Souls, all souls are mine. Titanium is Saturn's moon, Titan. So is this indicating that Saturn runs all of our souls? Does Saturn run the sun? Well, here is the sun. Here's the word soul, singular. This is plural now. This was plural, souls, but we go singular, soul. Soul is a 67 in the English. Soul is a 19 in the Chaldean. These two are the two top dog ciphers. Chaldean number 1, English number 2, both running off the numbers 1 through 8 because 2 plus 6, the 26 letters of the alphabet equals the number 8. Chaldean strictly uses 1 through 8. Completely tied together. You don't even need to deviate away from these two. It muddies the waters when you get into the other ciphers, but nonetheless, here's the proof in the pudding showing you the two top dog ciphers. There it is. Soul is 67. Soul is 19. 67's the 19th frickin' prime number. Then we bring in alchemy on the periodic table and holmium. Ho, ho, ho. This is Santa's element, 67. Of course, it is the most magnetic element on the periodic table. The most magnetic. Think about what I'm telling you. The word soul, the most magnetic. Your soul is magnetic. Magnetism and electricity is what runs this reality. And of course, 19 is potassium. So we have holmium and potassium. Right there with the prime and the number 67. In the tarot, it's the 19 and the sun card. So what has our souls? What has our souls? When we take holmium and potassium, tied from the word soul, found from 67 in the 19th prime, and we add them up using the trusty calculator, look at what number we get, 205.891. Now, why is this important? Keep your eye on that calculator right below there. Bam, there it is. I told you we'd be coming back to that letter, that element, lead, in the 205. There it is. It's the 205. The 205, it's lead. It's lead to gold. The sun is gold. We become lead. Our souls are in the skeleton. Our souls are in the skeleton, and when we leave this place, that's exactly what happens. Something to that effect. But this is undeniable right here. Found from 67 being the 19th prime number, holmium and potassium. 205, lead to gold. This is not just going to be my only showing of this. I'll be showing this in some upcoming slides, so hang on to your seats. When you take the 205 and 891 found from holmium and potassium, 205 and 891, and you add them up, you get 1096, and there it is. There's the clue. This is the undeniable truth right here. All souls are mine. We go back to gold. Folks, this reality is all about the energetic transfer, the true essence of alchemy. Lead to gold is the true essence of energetic currency from our energy of love and fear as we play out this game called life. There it is. It's lead to gold. It's undeniable right there, folks. This is pure math now. Pure mathematics and science and alchemy. Forget about opinion and cards and what, like, oh, people made these cards. Forget about all of that. This is stuff you can measure in a laboratory. These things really exist. And this is the numbers on the calculator. This is what we are as we incarnate. We become lead, prison planet. And then we're being mined for our energetic gold. It's exactly how this reality works. When you take lead and gold, 79 plus 82, the protons of gold and lead, look at what number you get, 161. And those of you who've been paying attention, what is 161? It's the freaking golden ratio. It's the golden ratio. 161, 1.61. Tied from the sun. Gold. Golden ratio. And then if you take that 205 and 196 from the weight of gold and lead, you get the number 401. What's 401? It's the 79th prime number. Folks, look, this is pure math. Lead to gold, right there. 79th prime, 79, it's gold. We are lead. We go back to gold, and it's the sun. And of course, Saturn's in there as well. At this point, it's all about the sun right now. And the last slide for this All Souls Are Mine, when you take the original spellings of gold and lead, there's a reason why it's PB. Because in the Latinized version of it, it's plumbum, kind of a funny word. And then gold is aurum. Plumbum and aurum. 52, which is tied to prison planet. Undeniable. We are being used for our energetic currency. This tells us the story right here. Moving on to the next topic called love. This is one of the two emotions that we have, love and fear. Everything else is subordinate underneath that, but love is the top emotion. This is what wins in the end, golden age to dark age. Love will defeat the dark age. We go back to the golden age again. It's love. Love. And it's tied to the universe. Tied to uranium, Uranus, Uranus, you run us, the U. It's you and me, baby. Of course, the U is in the shape of a magnet. This is why horseshoes are lucky. It's the very first letter of the word universe. And if you take 92 and you add 238, you're going to get 330. Uranium is 25, just like the word father is 25. I was having a conversation with my buddy Michael, and he was saying he thinks it's both male and female. I think so. I think you have the mother and father right here on either side. And this is the magnetism. We're going to get to that in a second. But how very fitting that the Royal Society of Chemistry decided to use this little photograph right here for this element manganese. Now, why am I showing this manganese? Because it's the 25th element on the periodic table. And uranium is 25. There's the match, the 25 and the 25. This is the icon the Royal Society of Chemistry decided to use. What do you think? What is right there? Well, it's a freaking magnet. It's just in the inverted of this uranium. And this will tell you it's, in the food. But this is telling you we're all cattle, we're all cows. And we're being lifted off the ground. This is when you die, your soul gets lifted off the ground in the harvest by the Father. Of course, 54, sun, moon, and earth. You can't miss this right here. This was a pretty big find for me personally. And there's the right side, the vertical inversion of uranium, the horseshoe, the lucky horseshoe. And of course, it's tied to Uranus. So you have Uranus, which is Father Sky, the father of Saturn, representing the crown chakra. chakra number 7, the 7th planet, perhaps being the father of everything. And there is kind of, another clue, because manganese, the element itself, is a 32, and we know Game Master is 32. 32. And, we come down here, we become man, 33, liquid, 32, solid. This clearly tells us 32 means solid. It means duality. It means becoming a cow, cattle, and becoming man or woman. So when you get into the magnetic and electric, 2 of the 3, magnetic, electric, dielectric, you get the 52, which is a match to prison planet. There it is, the mag and the L, the magnetic and the electric. We live in an electric universe, but it's also very magnetic. It's a 26 and 26, matching that of prison and planet. Magnetic and electric. And when you break down the magnetic and electric, it's mag and L. And there was the very big clue. It's the 88. The mag and the L, the torus fields. Magnetic and electric. It's the mag and the L, which is what we're made up of, electricity being run by magnetism. Prison planet. And of course, the letter U is the 21st letter in the alphabet. How about that? 21. Of course, the letter U in the Francis Bacon, the capital, is going to be the number 40, tied to Westworld, as I've been showing. But there it is, the number 21, not just any number, it's the freaking 8th Fibonacci number. Go right back to that mag and L. It's the 8. Of course, 19 is the 8th prime number, 19 is the sun, tied to soul, as I've been showing. But this is kind of undeniable when you bring the math and the numbers and the language into all of this. It goes right back to that U, Uranus and uranium. Perhaps the one that runs Ra. But there's the 21st card in the deck for the Cards of Illumination. It's the 8 clubs card. This is one of the 3 fixed cards. There are 3 fixed cards out of the 52. The King Spades, the Jack Hearts, the 8 clubs, card 21. Most of the people that I know that are 8 clubs are highly psychic. Those of you that are 8 clubs, start practicing on using your psychic abilities, because you people had in the incarnation and the code to be highly, highly psychic. Here's the tarot card. That's a match to the 8 clubs card. There it is, the 8 of wands, which is this card right here, means very fast moving. Of course, when you can have the eyes to see magnetism, electricity, very fast moving with this 8 of wands. And of course, this card right here is the 30th card when you bring the cards of the tarot into it. There it is, using the Fool as the card number 22. It's 30. And what is 30? Demiurge. The word demiurge. Let me just show you, just so we can be very crystal clear. But here it is. Demiurge is 30, 82, prison planet, 82, and 30. There it is, 30. 30. Tied to this card right there, the 8 wands, found from the 8 clubs card, and the number 21, the U. Demiurge. Demiurge probably is magnetism and electricity. Tied from the 8, 8 clubs card. And the U. And love. And there's the 21st card in the tarot. Straight up in the major arcana, it's the world. The U, it's you and me. It's you and me. Uranus, uranium. And the 21st card in the tarot, the medicine deck, it's the owl, which of course that face of the owl fits right in the Taurus fields, the most revered animal, one of the most revered animals in the occult. It's the owl, of course. And there it is, folks, the word love. The word love is from the letter U. The most powerful emotion in this reality is love. And you can love anything, by the way. So it can be used for deceptive properties or malefic and then beneficial. So let's get into the last topic. It's my last topic. Thanks for sticking with me here. The last topic, we've been flowing pretty nicely. The last topic in this Prison Planet Part 3 is fear. We went over love. Now we're going to get into fear. The two emotions that make us up, and here it is. So we had love being the 21 and being the letter U, which is tied to Uranus and uranium. And we now have the letter P, the 16th letter, making up the word fear. So we have 21 and 16, which is 37, which is tied to rubidium, the all-seeing eye. And it runs both. It has both. This reality has love and fear inside of it. Make no mistake about it. But there's the 16. And the reason why I have lead at the bottom, I'm showing that very specifically. But it's plum bum. And 82 is prison planet, tied to the 52. And that 205, unmistakable, tied to the souls. All of our souls are lead. And it's tied to the Christ. Because here it is. The Latinized version of lead. That's why it's the PB. It's plum bum. There it is. So when we become man, the 33, we come down here, we become lead. There it is. It's right there. It's undeniable. The Christ. And then 82 in the string of pi is found at the 52nd and 53rd decimal digit. That's 105. That's going to be great architect in the universe, what the Masons call the God, the 105. But make no mistake about it, it is the prison planet. There it is. As we incarnate, we become lead and we become the Christ, because we are Christ. Christ is love. That's what Jesus is. He's love. That's what we all are. If you're a human being, that is. And you work for, Team Yoda. Because you can be the villain. Some people are born in this code to be villains. That's their job. But make no mistake about it, we all encounter lead. We all become lead. We all go back to the same source. As the old proverb said, when the game is over, the king and pawn go back in the same box. That's how this game works. But there it is, undeniable with numbers. Pure math, numerology, the science of numbers, and alchemy. 3 different layers, all showing you the same story. And here's the abbreviation for lead. It's plum bum. It's the PB. Of course, there it is. It's the 82, matching the 82 protons of lead. And then we get this magnet right here. This is us, the cows, the cattle. That's why vaccines, they come from the word vaca, which is from cow. That's why Richard Jenner, the first guy who created the smallpox vaccine, created it from a cow. And it means personal property. The word vaccine comes from the word vaca, and if you study that etymology-wise, it's from a Latinized version, which means personal property. That's what we all are, folks. We're property. And it ain't from man. We're not property of man, we're property of the universe. Whatever runs that, whatever you think it is, whatever your version of it, whatever your idea is, you don't own yourself. You're being used. You're rented out. You rent your avatar. You don't own anything. You just rent space. And you're an actor or actress in this game. We're being mined for our energetic gold. You can't miss this. The word man is 10. The word tax is 10. Man is taxed. So what did you see during this presentation, ladies and gentlemen? I flowed pretty nicely. I thought it was going to be a lot longer than I anticipated, but I flowed pretty nicely on this one. But I'd love to hear what you saw. What did you see, folks? I know there was things in there that I missed. I could have added in a ton more slides. I'm trying to keep these shorter than 2 hours. I knew I wasn't going to go over 2 hours, but I want to try. Most people don't make it till the end. That's what the analytics are saying. Those of you that make it to the end, congratulations. You want it bad enough. You want the knowledge. You want the wisdom. You want to know how this game works. And when you start to see how this game works, it's easy just to let go and just have more fun with it because you're not running anything. You're being used to create. Like cells in a battery. We live in a battery. We're the cells. You have cells inside your body. You have trillions of them. Do you think you have to tell them what to do? No, they're already programmed to do their job. The white blood cells, they're already programmed to attack the bacteria. You ain't got to tell your white blood cells to do anything. They're programmed already. The same thing for us. We're programmed already to act and behave a certain way, to do certain things. That's why when I do readings for people, astrology, numerology, it'll tell you how you act and behave. That's your code. But anyway, folks, that's all I got for today. Thanks for sticking with me. All of you, I really appreciate all you great decoders. Thanks for all your donations and your Patreons. And those of you that have gotten readings, those of you that want readings, just send me an email, decodeyourreality@gmail.com. Know your true power. Start to decode yourself. So that's all I got for today, folks. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. And I thank each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, we'll see you later.